everyone, I am Tracy Dolphin. I am curator of hook stock here at the Oklahoma City Zoo. Thank you for joining us for today's OKC Zoo at 2 segment. And we are coming live to you from our Okapi habitat. And as you can see behind me, we are actually joined by our 2 Okapi. And I'm going to get started by introducing you to the Okapi. So standing right next to me, you can tell she's a little bit smaller. This is Mellie. Mellie is actually 27 years old. She is the 3rd oldest Okapi in North America. And also she weighs about 635 pounds. Right next to her is going to be Kayan. Kayan is 4 years old. She was actually born here at the Oklahoma City Zoo. And she's one of our bigger female. She weighs in at about 750 pounds. Wow. She's a big, tall girl. I want to start and point something out to you because this is one of the questions we always get. Are Okapi related to zebra? And most people think that because they have those stripes on their back end, and they are not related to zebra. Those stripes actually serve a really important purpose. The Okapi are going to be found in the Ituri forest at the DRC in Africa, and they live in really dense forests with little sunlight coming through. Those stripes on the back are going to look like the sunlight filtering through, and they blend into the forest, and they kind of confuse their predators, which would be mainly leopards out in the wild. I also want to introduce who else is out here with us. This is our senior animal caretaker. Her name is Elizabeth Pazias, and she is also the primary caretaker for our Okapis.
Hi, Elizabeth. Hi.
Hi, Elizabeth.
So Tracy, one more time, sorry, we just had some people join us. Can you introduce our 2 Okapi one more time?
I certainly can. So the Okapi standing right next to me, the smaller of our 2 females, her name is Mellie. She is 27 years old. She is actually the 3rd oldest Okapi in North America, and she weighs about 635 pounds. Our big girl, who's showing off how tall she is, her name is Kayan. Kayan was born here at the Oklahoma City Zoo 4 years ago. She weighs about 750 pounds. And one thing to note, Okapi's median life expectancy is only about 17 years old.
So what are they snacking on?
So they are snacking on a variety of branches or browse. They are herbivores and they browse. And so this is elm browse. And if you zoom in on their tongues, they have these really cool prehensile tongues. They're going to be about 14 to 18 inches long. And as you can see, they're wrapping their tongues around the leaves, and they're able to strip it with keeping that branch still intact. So both of them are showing you a really good natural behavior that you would find them to do.
And is this their favorite snack, their favorite diet item?
Elm is one of their favorites. They also have a little bit of Iliagnus in there, but elm is probably top on their list.
So that tongue, it looks a lot like the giraffe tongue.
It does. In fact, the Okapi is the closest living relative to the giraffe. And you're going to see some similarities between the 2 of them. If you look at their overall body shape, they kind of look like a giraffe, a little bit with that smaller neck. But they also have that prehensile tongue that's going to be purple at the end as well. And then both giraffes and Okapi actually have ossicones. Now, you're not going to see them on our female Okapi because only the male Okapi have those ossicones. But if you look at our giraffes, both the females and the males both have the ossicones.
And are their tongues purple like giraffes as well? And what's the purpose?
Well, their tongues are purple as well. It is thought that purple keeps them from being sunburned because they have their tongues out on top of the leaves. Living in the dense forest, not quite sure what that purple serves.
So we had somebody ask, do they like produce?
Do they like produce?
Yes, they do like produce. Here they get a variety in their diet. They get cucumbers and grapes. Tomatoes is actually one of Kayan's favorite. They get broccoli, and they get different types of mustard greens. So they get a very wide variety of produce.
Awesome. Like those veggies.
A really great question we received from Mabry. She asked, she asked, are their tongues purple like a giraffe? We did answer that question. And Miles, age 7, is asking, do they come from a certain part of Africa or all over Africa?
They actually are found in one certain part of Africa, concentrated in the Ituri forest of the Congo.
And why do they have those striped legs?
Yeah, great question. So those striped legs is actually each Okapi. Each of those stripe patterns is individual to the Okapi. So you can tell the Okapi apart by their stripe pattern. But it also serves as camouflage. It looks like the filtering sunlight that comes through the trees. They live in the very dense forest, the rainforest. And actually the calves will use that striped pattern to follow their moms as well.
And are Mellie and Cayenne related?
Mellie and Cayenne are not related.
We have a lot of people saying these are my favorite animals. And a really great question from Oscar asking, what's their status? Are they endangered?
Yeah, so the Okapi are endangered. There really is thought to only be about 10,000 Okapis left in the wild. It's hard to study Okapi in the wild. They're very shy and elusive. And really, we partner with the Okapi Conservation Project and support them, and they're doing a lot of the research with Okapi in the wild. One of the cool things they're doing is using camera traps to get video and footage to know what's going on with the Okapi.
Oh, that's cool. So we had somebody on Instagram ask, do they receive enrichment?
Do they receive enrichment? Enrichment is a great question. And really all enrichment means is that we really want to see the Okapi do natural behavior. So one of the things that you're seeing right here by providing them with these browse leaves is providing enrichment for them to increase their foraging time, to allow them to use their tongue in a way that they would be using it in the wild as well.
That's great. Okay, and then we have Bryce, who's 5. He wants to know if they eat branches too or just the leaves.
Typically they're going to eat just the leaves. Now if there's a smaller twig or something, they may eat that as well, but they're not going to eat the entire branches. You're going to see them just strip the leaves off and they're going to leave the branches there.
Awesome. Great question, Bryce.
Yes. Tracy, can you talk a little bit about the species survival plan, if the Okapi are involved in that?
Yes. So the Species Survival Plan, or the SSP, is really a cooperative breeding between the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. And yes, our Okapi are part of that. But you might have noticed we don't have a male. And we hope to welcome a male here so that we also can continue on breeding our Okapi.
And a really great question we received too is, how big are Okapi when they're born?
When they are born,
They're about 35 pounds and just about maybe 2 feet around there. But yeah, 35 pounds.
And is it true that Cayenne was actually born on public view?
Yes.
She
was
was.
born in the yard that we are currently standing in on public view.
Awesome.
We had a question about their ears. They're so large. Do they serve a specific purpose?
they do. So those ears are going to be one of their defenses. So when you're in a really dense rainforest, you need to hear what's approaching you. The ears are very large. They can funnel where the sound is coming from. And if you watch their ears, they work independently from each other. So Okapis can move their ears all around to figure out where the different sounds are coming from.
Wow. And how well can they see?
How well can they see? They do not rely on their eyesight as much as they rely on their hearing and their sense of smell.
Sarah asked, does it hurt them when they strip the leaves off the branches?
It does not. Their tongue is used to that, and it's evolved to do all types of leaves from trees.
They are really enjoying these
Yes, they are.
treats. This is awesome.
So another question we received is, actually this viewer has never seen an Okapi before today.
That is
She asked,
not uncommon. We get that probably a lot of times from our viewers.
do most zoos have Okapi, or is it rare for zoos to have Okapi in their family?
It's not all zoos have Okapi. So there are fewer zoos that have Okapi than, say, a zebra.
Okay. And what are their natural predators?
Natural predators, the main one is the leopards.
Leopards. Okay. And can you tell our viewers again where they're from and what threats they face in the wild?
Sure. So these guys are from the Congo, from a specific area of the Ituri forest. And really the threats that they are under is really from human activity, habitat loss due to deforestation, as well as mining are their two primary threats.
And how can our viewers help Okapi in the wild?
Absolutely. So one of the really good things, like I mentioned, is from mining. So to recycle small electronics or recycle your cell phone, because those components actually come from mining operations, as well as support conservation organizations such as the Oklahoma City Zoo or the Okapi Conservation Project.
Okay.
Great.
Awesome. And are they herd animals or are they solitary?
They are actually solitary. So in the wild, you're going to find them basically alone unless there's a mother-calf pair. And one cool thing that Okapis do is they have stinky feet, and they communicate through chemicals, through smell.
Okay.
And that's the way they let other Okapi know that they were there. And males can broadcast to other males that this is his territory as well. So
Get a
really
look at
cool
the-
communication from the Okapi.
The stinky feet.
You can even smell it a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Sorry, you don't have smell-o-vision.
Sorry,
smell
Mellie. I'm
vision.
just kidding. A really great question we received from a couple of our Instagram viewers we had asked previously is why are they called Okapi?
Oh, that is a great question. For two reasons. Their scientific name is one, Okapi comes from native language that we translate into Okapi. And then they're also after the scientists who found them.
Okay, awesome question. And how fast can they run?
So Okapis can run about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Doesn't serve them well to run in the dense rainforest, so most of their times is just navigating well-developed trails.
And two more questions from our Instagram fans. How long are Okapi pregnant? What's their gestation period?
About 15 months. They are pregnant for about 15 months.
Wow, that is a long time. And how can you tell a male and a female Okapi apart?
The easiest way, like we have two females right in front of you, is the males are going to have those ossicones, which looks like they have horns on top of their head.
Very cool.
All right.
Before we say goodbye, could you introduce our ladies here again, their age, their names, and maybe some personality characteristics?
Sure. So we have, standing right next to me is Kayan. She is actually getting fed some silage. So this was leaves that we prepared last year that we feed all winter long. So she's enjoying that and snacking on that. She is age 4. She was born here at the Oklahoma City Zoo. She weighs about 634 pounds. She has quite the personality. She's always interested in everything new, loves to run around the yard. She's the first one kind of to come over to investigate, and then the first one to take off running when she sees what it is and is done. Right next to her is Mellie. So Mellie is 27 years old.
Hi, Mellie.
She again is the 3rd oldest Okapi in North America. She weighs in at about 635 pounds, and Mellie is just pretty laid back, really enjoys time with her keepers and being rubbed down. She would prefer sometimes, I think, to hang out with us than the other Okapis as well. I did want to throw something in because we've been talking about their tongues, and I want to throw this really interesting fun fact in.
Okay.
So Okapis, and she might do it on cue for me, can lick their own eyeballs, and they can lick their own ears.
What?
I know. You just see
Okay.
that really long tongue.
We've gotten some good. Oh, and there.
And that would be a great personality of
There
Kayan.
you go. Mellie, hi.
So is Mellie the more dominant of the two girls?
I wouldn't say so. She may be the oldest, maybe not the most dominant. I don't know that we have a clear dominance between the two. It goes back and forth depending on the day.
All right.
We have a lot of people saying thank you
We
to
do,
us for sharing
yes.
our Okapi with everyone. And I want to thank you, Tracy
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tracy.
and
Thank you,
Lisbeth.
Lisbeth.
guys.
Everybody's really enjoyed this today.
Thank you.
Kayan is going to make her way back to say goodbye as
Here
well.
she comes. Are you going to come say goodbye?
We hope you'll tune in tomorrow for OKC Zoo at 2. We're going live again with our red jungle fowl chicks. That is going to be super awesome. Nobody's ever met them before. It's going to be their debut. So we hope you'll
And
join us.
Later this week, we have Zoo IQ about Okapi.
Yes,
So you can put everything you learned today to good use on Thursday.
that is right. Happy Earth Week, everyone, and we hope you have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.